we're going to bring our amazing friend, Jennifer Wilson. Jennifer, what's up, girl?
Not a whole lot yet. Today I've been able to go to the beach and spend some
good.
outside time, get some therapy. So that was nice.
Good.
I look a little
Well,
windblown, but
you have been helping so much inside of our launch team and just supporting us so much over there during these last 3 weeks. Can you believe it's been 3 weeks?
no.
It feels like a whirlwind, but then it's also like it kind of feels like 3 weeks, but it also just
Right.
feels like insane, maybe a week and a half. That's kind of what it feels like, but over 3 weeks. But so thank you again for all of your support. So what I'd like to do is let's find out your story. Now yours is a little bit different of a story because you have been a preschool all-star and then you left and then you came back. And so I would actually like to hear that journey. So bring me back to like, what was life like, before you met me, like way back in the day, and then, your journey, and then why you came back. I'd love to know that.
I let preface this. We have 9 children in our household. So I did daycare because that's the only way we could have afforded having the kids. But I had my 9 kids and then I had other kids. So my house was always hopping. And I didn't want my kids in daycare, but I wanted them to have friends. So they came over and the kids played. And, my daycare kids never wanted to leave our house. They always wanted to stay. So kids are my passion, obviously. But when my kids got old enough to go to kindergarten and be in school, I started working at our local public school, teaching preschool as an associate with our special needs population students.
Oh, yeah.
So I loved that, but I didn't like having to go in if there was in service and not being home when my kids needed me and being told what hours I had to be there. And I'd rather dictate that on my own. I didn't like, some of my kids have medical problems. I have a son with type 1 diabetes. I have a daughter with myasthenia gravis, another daughter that has epileptic seizures. Wow. So with a lot of health conditions, I needed freedom. And daycare does not provide that. I used to drag all my daycare kids and my kids to the doctor. It was crazy.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. People would be like, oh my gosh, you're nuts. I'm like, I don't have a choice. It's this or, my kid stays sick and I can't do that.
Oh, man.
So we would
let's pause on that for a second. Because I mean, I had 5, but of course then they were a big age range because the remarriage, but you had 9. And so I'm trying to, now I can literally visualize, because when you have that daycare, you have your parents that are paying you expect you to be open because they have to go to work. And if you have to close, then they have to take a day off of work and they are not going to be happy about that. So then you're like, you have to stay open. But if any of your kids get sick and they actually have to go to the doctor for anything to get better, I mean, what a nightmare.
It was a lot of toting. And thank goodness some of my kids by that time were older. So some of them were in school. But I still had a lot of them at home.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay, so continue now.
So I put our youngest in daycare. I actually got a job helping in-home daycare providers become registered, or at least be able to have DHS come in whenever they did their pop-ins and they were all ready to go. So they had all their paperwork. We would give them incentives, like toys and stuff for their program, just to have me come in and help them or walk them through things and try to incentivize being registered so that there was more regulation involved to keep kids safe.
Right.
So I loved the job. That was about the same time my son got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and I was sick putting my other son into daycare. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I got to go back home.
Right.
So I watched some of my friends' kids every here and there, not a lot. Like one of them was a preschool mate of my son. So I took them to preschool doing the same model, basically, that you teach.
Yeah.
But I never put 2 and 2 together to be like, well, I could do that, because there were several in our
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like, okay, that needs being filled, I think. So in the back of my mind, I was like, why would I switch? But
Right.
it's because I didn't want to work 12-hour days and drag 15 kids to the doctor's office.
Totally. Yeah.
So I came back, and then I've been kind of just hanging out because my kids started having kids. So now my grandkids were being born, and I wanted to stay with them. So I kept my grandkids up until this last week. We ended up moving from Iowa to North Carolina last year, 1,100 miles,
Wow.
and two of my daughters followed me, but they're the two that I watched the kids full time.
Right. Right.
And now my husband's being relocated to Myrtle Beach.
Mm.
So we're moving again
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
Right.
And my daughters decided they wanted to go back to the Midwest. So they moved last week.
Wow.
And I'm not with my grandkids anymore, which has been a little rough, but it's okay. We talk every day, and
Yeah.
I teach them now online because they used to help me teach my other student online, and they
Mhm.
would be in my house and he would be online. So they were
Right.
interacting anyway,
Yeah.
but now they're all going online.
Love
So
that.
that's been exciting and fun. A little transition, but
Yeah.
it's working. So I came to Myrtle Beach with my husband to he had to come down for work at this office.
Mhm.
And Wednesday, I went to the park, and that's where I taught preschool. Wednesday was in the park. It was beautiful outside. The park was really cool. We are having dress up this week. So
That's when you were all
I was
dressed up,
Pete the
right?
cat. Yep. I
I
did Pete
love
the
it.
cat. Tomorrow I'm a mummy, but
Oh, I love that.
they had so much fun, and
Mm.
I could do my lesson just sitting at the park table, and I showed them the park. They have a whole in the town I was in. They have a whole
Yeah.
bunch of plastic pumpkins hanging in the trees. Like someone literally went up and hung the pumpkins in the trees, and it is
Yeah.
the coolest looking thing. So they had it was like a mini field trip
Yeah.
online, but it was fun and it works, and we're loving it.
That's awesome. So let's talk now because we actually have obviously some all stars have left because of, they've moved and life got crazy or, some financial difficulties or things like that. Why did you come back? Like, why? I mean, I know you've been here for quite some time now that you've been back, but like, why? Like talk to that because we've got some of the women on the fence that are like, I used to be an all-stars, but maybe my dream was to have that preschool like booming, like 48 preschoolers like Rita, in 2 months, or Jamie, 40 preschoolers in 2 months, or maybe that was the dream, but it didn't happen immediately. And so like they're maybe a little jaded. Like, why would I come back if I can't have that like quick thing happen to me?
Dreams don't always show up quickly. It takes
Mm,
the process. You have to go through the process to get to the end result.
yeah.
And I'm still not where I wanna be. I want to end up with a local preschool, but with all of our moving and stuff,
Yeah.
it's not in the cards right now. But that doesn't
Mhm.
mean it's not going to ever be in the cards.
Yes.
So, in order for me to keep going, I have to be involved in a group like this, and it's kept me going. I haven't quit. I'm still doing little things here but in there. I'm ramping up right now because I don't have my grandkids. I had some of my grandkids for 12-hour days. So I was focusing on what they needed.
Mhm.
And now I don't have that. So I have more time freedom for myself to be able to grow my program,
Yeah.
which is what I'm working on. So I came back because it's still my dream. I
Mhm.
went to a preschool like this when I was 3 or 4 on a farm in a chicken house, and
Oh,
I have the best memories from that.
yeah.
And I want that for other kids. I want them to be able to learn in a safe space that's
Mm,
fun and looking forward to coming every day, whether it's in person or online.
yeah.
They need they need to know that they can come and have a good time and meet some new friends, and it's just about a growth process, and there's so much focus in the public school system on the core curriculum, and their hands are tied. They have to do what they're told.
Yeah.
I can do what's fun,
Yeah.
and they're still learning the same types of things. It's just in a different way.
Right.
And kids need to play. Preschoolers need to learn through play.
Mhm.
It's how they process everything. And they're making so many connections in their brains at this point in time that if you don't give them the experience, they're going to miss it.
Mm.
And then when they get to school, it's going to be like, well, why don't they know that?
Yeah.
Because you didn't let them play.
Right. Mhm.
That's how they learn.
Yeah. And what I love that while you shared this is something that reminded me that one of my mentors' sayings is, your journey is your journey.
Right.
And what I love about this is we all have different goals and dreams. And, it is absolutely 100% okay if your goal and dream is to, teach your grandchildren online, like with one other student, like that. Let that be enough. I mean, if you
Mhm.
think about how it lights you up, at the end of the day, that's honestly like one of the biggest things is how can we feel that passion in what we
Mhm.
do and make the world a better place, and sometimes we get a little tripped up on, the number of signups or the amount of money or things like that, but it's like at the end of the day, are you doing what you love to do and are you having less stress in your life? Then
Right.
you need to chalk that up to a giant win,
Huge
right?
win. And it's
Huge
one
win.
preschooler at a time.
Yeah.
You're only you can reach one at a time. It's okay. You're still
Yes.
making that reach.
Yeah.
And you're still touching someone's life
Mm. And
by
you're growing too.
teaching this. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
am, like
Mhm.
I have that freedom now that I can expand, and that's
Yeah.
where I'm going.
Mhm.
I want to touch more children's lives. And eventually, I'll be able to do it with them when we can get messy together
Yes.
and have fun and play, and
Yeah.
that's the fun and beauty of this.
Yeah. What I love is that because you're moving again, right? So even
Right.
as your life situation changes, but you're holding on to the rock that is Preschool All Stars
Mhm.
because that keeps your dream right there and keeps you moving toward it. So I
And
love
the
that.
support system, I've met people and talked to people daily, and I don't wanna lose the friendships either that I've
Yeah.
created,
Right.
and we're all supporting each other in this,
Mhm.
and we're all like-minded. We all have the same end goal, we
Yeah.
all want to help kids learn and
Mhm.
grow and be loved, and
Yes.
kids need that. They don't get a lot of interaction with all the screen time and stuff that they
Mhm.
have. Even though I'm online, it's still a positive experience. Like, my
Yes.
granddaughters will get on YouTube, and I'm looking at that, I'm like, "Nope, nope, nope, we're getting off, and no, mm-mm."
Yep.
So, with the preschool club, I'm excited
Mhm.
because then they don't have that, and
Yes.
I don't have to worry when they're not with me or with my daughter that
Yeah.
that's not the exposure they're getting.
Absolutely. Well, we sure appreciate you being here. We love the support that you offer in the All Stars
Thank
community. And
you for the
so,
opportunity.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for the support. I couldn't do this without y'all. All right, girl. Well, you have an amazing night and we will talk to you soon. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, everyone, be sure to go to preschoolallstars.com to get in before we close the doors. Hustle, hustle on over.